Gank Visage 2 or 3 times. Because the problem with pop-off heroes is that if they don't snowball, they can fail, can't they?
Indeed. And I think this Mirana Tidehunter, they're going to have a pretty decent lane, considering they're up against the Ursa.
And
Crystal Maiden
already coming.
I was going to say, this Crystal Maiden is going to die a lot against this Tide Mirana lane. She's already starting off by giving away first blood.
40 seconds before creeps even spawn.
Yep.
A great start for Beastcoast.
The DP got the kill as well, so she's going to be having an early null talisman. I think that's probably going to be his buy here. Visage, really bad hero before level 6 in the laning stage. Like, it's not even a hero. Normally, whatever lanes against Visage is going to have a very easy time.
Chasing this Rubik and Timbersaw. Already done a little bit of chip damage there onto them. But is DP also a good hero against Visage in general because of Gravekeeper's Cloak and all of the kind of little bits of damage instances that DP has?
It really depends on who's ahead. Visage, which is ahead with a Solar Crest, would absolutely blow a Death Prophet up. She's not going to be able to run into battles, but if DP who's ahead and the Visage with like a bunch of like maybe plate mail, armor items, can definitely make Visage's game extremely hard. Like you said, you got the Siphon, you got the Exo, just run onto the Visage. But I think in this game with Crystal getting first blood, he's going to be dominating.
We'll see how he does. I'm excited to see what Nanana can do from that mid lane Visage. And just peering into the other lanes, there's the Tide Mirana top that you were looking at. Maiden is trying to battle with the Mirana. That rarely goes well for the Maiden, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a gush into an arrow. Yep. He gushed a little early here, though. If you waited for the arrow, then maybe it's like short kills on the Crystal Maiden.
Do you think that gives Ursa a decent time in the 1v1 against Tide, though? Or is Tidehunter with Anchor Smash just going to be bullying him as well?
Ursa's definitely going to be free farming in this lane. But the way that you stop him from free farming is you get rid of the Crystal Maiden and then you just start bullying him with 2 of your heroes while she's dead.
Get that 2v1 going. And then bottom lane, Gyro Ogre up against Timber Rubik. Moonlight probably going to have to rotate out of this lane at some point and give Timbersaw that free experience in the laning stage. So right now he's just soaking it up. Both of them level 1. Gyro with flat cannon at level 2, so no rocket barrage. Just going for the right clicks on Moonlight. Nice. And with the homing missile, they secure the kill on him.
Yeah, the flat cannon does a little bit of extra, harass damage. It is only 2 hits level 1, but it worked out in this lane.
Oh,
this is a very vicious lane.
Gyro's paused it at the exact moment Maiden's about to die.
Yeah, she's not level 2 either. Can't even eat the mango and cast 1 more skill. But Ursa should get the return kill here onto the Tide.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's got 3 stick charges.
Just slowed him down.
Yeah, going to be just a few more hits for the Ursa. There's already 3 stacks of the Fury Swipes on him.
The Tidehunter is slowed by the Nova and the Earthshock, so very annoying for him.
Well, Mirana has a leap and another arrow in a second, so we could see some slippery plays up there.
I've actually seen Mirana skill up leap before when laning with the Tidehunter. Level 1. So level 1, you just skill up. Yeah, you just like right click, Tide gushes for you, you leap in, you get that mass bonus attack speed and just like get next to the super slow support and just kill him.
Yeah, I guess you push
him down.
You push way more damage than the level 1 Starstorm, right? Because even if you land the double Starstorm, that's 150 damage.
Well, you can't get inside to get the double Starstorm anyway, right?
Without the leap, yeah.
You run it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good point.
But arrow is always going to be like your go-to choice.
Yeah, it's so good. We've already seen Schofield securing range creep last hits with it. I'm pissing off that Crystal Maiden.
This Crystal Maiden is surely dead. He's got 2 more leap charges. They got level 2 first.
That should be pretty simple pick off there. And before the pause gets resumed into the game, DP mid 9-1 already has that first null. Courier is coming out with a bottle. So let's pay attention top as the Mirana leaps forward. And Crystal Maiden, down you go, while Whisper gets another Anchor Smash off and the stick charges, but Cocohook does secure that trade back while his Courier being microed around the trees, but the Mirana has it. No more leaps though. So Cocohook, can they find the kill here? It looks like they can. Double kill for your Ursa in the top lane.
Huge.
That is a great start for the Ursa. Even if he loses his courier, losing the Maiden there, it's still a great little platform for this Ursa to launch himself through this laning stage. Bottom lane again, though. They do move in. This time onto the Timber Saw. Reactive armor, 6 stacks going. Ogre's still trying to push damage forward, and he pops his stick. So he can hang around in this lane as Valky, another Timber Chain, a Fairy Fire to play around with. Stinger's going to have to retreat because the Gyrocopter flat cannon just comes off cooldown and there's no homing missile. I think Ogre was expecting a little bit more from his Gyrocopter there, but it wasn't on offer.
Timber's getting to a point where he's going to be able to tank through any of Gyrocopter's damage. I wonder if we will see him max out the Rocket Barrage, or it's going to get like a flat cannon upgraded. It's always interesting to see what kind of builds K1 goes for.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's just like which build prioritizes farming and lets me hit the most creeps. And we'll see if they build any stacks for him as well. It's been a while since we've seen this kind of Gyrocopter. Going for Aghanims up. First item. Wait, what's he got queued there? Aghanims into Yasha. Looks like is going to be his route.
You see a rotation mid from the Rubik too.
And the arrow misses top lane. Ursa's very low, but they were trying to focus both at the same time.
Yeah,
still a lot of pressure here.
For the bottle, the rune, the power rune.
Yeah, nearly 4 minutes in, but the Rubik does wrap around mid. Visage with some Soul Assumption stacks up. The Spirit Siphon comes. The heals too much to contend with, and now the rune top is just going to be handed here to the DP and Invis rune as Cocohook dies. And the Tide and Mirana making them pay in that top lane yet again.
But now they got the kill onto the Ursa, so that was good. Not going on to the Crystal Maiden, getting baited by the Maiden this time. And just going for the Ursa instead. So yeah, the Rubik play mid was pretty nice. He didn't pop its Mango to get the lift back. Felt like they couldn't kill him anyway. But giving the rune away, that's the biggest problem here.
Yeah.
CM top again.
Oh
Boom.
dear.
Arrowed.
Oh, Anchor smashed into the ground. And Ursa with 13 CS losing that Maiden. You said it. They kill the Maiden, and Ursa's kind of in a situation, what do I do? I can't hit creeps. I've got to put pressure back on them. He runs towards the Mirana, trying to force her hand. But now, Cocohook's half HP. Nowhere to be.
They need to get this lane back top.
Or bottom.
Timber bottom.
He's a tanky boy. And Stinger's Ogre, telekinesis dragged into the waiting hands of Valky to Timber Chain and get a couple more hits in, but the salve from Stinger, the Ogre, with some more stick charges, and yet K1 goes, alright, bounty room time for me. And right now, it doesn't look like Stinger he's going to die too quickly. There's no mana left on this Timber Saw. Rubik's clicks do nothing, and Gyrocopter back in. Well, he's got Rocket Barrage. Does work out perfectly.
K1 didn't even try to help the Ogre. He's like, alright, screw you, I'm going for the bounty here. If you die, you're going to come back, bring me some regen or something.
Oh, they get both top. They got the Mirana while the fight bottom was happening, and then they just dive that tier 1 for the Ursa. Every one of these lanes.
Back kills on the CM after she TP'd in. She's got 4 deaths now, and now the Ursa all by himself dying once again. Look at that goal lead, 4,000 goal lead, 5 minutes into the game, or 6 minutes almost, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the CS board, green, green, green. All 3 cores of Beastcoast side out-farming their counterparts.
Yeah, net worth looks even worse, by the way. Just saying.
Really?
You got a Skullfield above their highest on Latam defenders.
Oh, you sure do. Look at that Mirana sneaking in there. This is the narrative, you know, that Trent spun. This is the problem with having this Visage, this Ursa, this Timber Saw. They all need good laning stage starts. They all need a bit of space. And if you are at a deficit at this stage of the game, Ravage top, with the Exorcism onto the Maiden, down you go, and Cocohook's still level 5. Chris Luck is here with the Ghosts of Flowin and a double kill to claim for himself.
Yeah, the problem here is not even the Timber's lane or the Timber not popping off. It's everybody else on Latam defenders. Ursa's lane was atrocious because the Tide Mirana just constantly bullying the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden has 5 deaths. 7 minutes into the game. Yeah.
Not a good look.
Not good. No, not at all.
Well, DP Ghost End. Done a good bit of damage onto that tier 1 up there. And it's room for Mirana, who's been lurking in that mid lane, trying to take experience and gold as the Visage Really would have liked to shove that tier 1. You know, the Visage loses the DP in lane. She goes off somewhere. You would love to get some damage onto that mid tier 1, but Mirana's just there making sure it doesn't happen. And they're actually going to try and collapse onto her. 3 leap charges on Schofield, Frostbite, and then what? You don't have the familiar stuns in time, the Rubik's too far away.
And then what? Arrows arranged. Ty's TPing in now, gonna sit in front of this Visage with his Kraken Shell. And those birds really don't do a lot of damage against Ty.
Can they kill? They can't kill the birds. I thought maybe they'd get one of them.
Chris Luck top, they're going in.
They are. They deny the tower as well. Moonlight's Rubik's done the job. Chris Luck still has another Spirit Siphon up his sleeve, and they've realized this DP with Phase Boots, too much to contend with. Chris Luck's in fact staying around to try and CS through the trees. Trying to succeed. Great job. They have had to, I don't want to say abandon bot lane, but Timbersaw did a good amount of damage to the Gyro, and K1 now looks like he's just jungling for a bit.
Yeah, you know K1 likes to go into the jungle as soon as he can. He does not like lanes.
Oh, the Visage steps forward onto that high ground. Good familiar stuns holds the DP back. But it's, I don't know, you're making these defensive plays when you have 3 heroes mid, but I guess the fact that your Maiden is level 3 with no mana doesn't really offer you anything. So they'll smoke instead to try and connect with the Timber down at bottom lane. Desperately trying to make something happen. Timbersaw doesn't have a TP cancel, so Stinger, he's done his job there.
Yeah, he was just chilling there trying to get some experience against his Timbersaw. But the moment that he's about to die, or the moments before he can die, he just TPs out, maximizing how much XP he does get. He's almost level 6 on the Ogre, so he's pretty happy. Chris Luck gonna drop his ulti mid now, since so many of Latam Defender's heroes went towards bottom to help this Timber kill the tower faster.
And now Timber's turn to try and come in to defend that mid lane, but an arrow does stun him up for quite a while.
High armor. He's okay.
Plenty of reactive armor stacks, yeah. 24 up. Not really much mana to play around with here, though. Timbersaw has Soul Ring and some 1 charges. I will bring in the Visage again. Knowing that Exorcism is down, you maybe feel like you're in a position where you can go and fight, but you're still walking into this Tide's Ravage.
I hate the way that they're trying to make this tower push, though. I think the best thing to do is go towards top, you know, get that lane out, still have some contention on this Ursa's farm, and then wrap through behind the jungle or behind the mid tower, and then go for the tower push. If you go from the front with the Tide and the DP, it's really awkward. You're just going to run into the Timber every time. You want to kill those backline heroes first.
Hasted Visage. Oh. Ogre and Mirana not really the targets you can go for against the tanky Ogre and the leaping Mirana. Timbersaw just going to throw out a couple of spells onto Chris Luck's DP, but they make the jump onto Gyro. K1 frostbitten, and that's a great pickoff for the Latam defenders. They're probably going to lose their Maiden, though, as the Ogre Mirana pair up. Ooh, another touch. Does get it there. Stinger finds it. The stolen arrow leapt away from by Mirana. Familiar's landing, but again, it's a 9-10 really stick charge. Ogre, and yeah, Timber's on the run away from the DP. The Moonlight Shadow comes, and Stinger's fine. Throws out another Ignite, and Chris Luck, he wants to secure this kill on Rubik. Do they have a stun to cancel on the TP? The arrow can't go through the Familiars.
Nice block from Na there.
Who shoveled as well? There's a kobold. Where did that come from?
Whose kobold is this?
No, seriously.
Come get your kobold.
Ogre must have dug that up ages ago. It was just roaming around.
Did you get distracted there, Gary buddy?
I did. I was like, where did this kobold come? Literally, whose kobold is this? So then I started clicking everyone for shovels.
I mean, I still like Latam Defender's movement into the jungle, though, because they are trying to force some kind of aggression, get the attention away from the Ursa. Ursa managed to get to level 8.5 now. He was struggling quite a bit, but he's been catching back up. Only Tidehunter has been up in this top lane, contesting this Ursa a little bit only. I want to see more heroes of Beastcoast up there. Like, they need to get the attention away from the Gyrocopter now. That's the problem. Like, they're just not pushing up on their advantage.
Go cause some havoc in that jungle. But it's going to be the Latam defenders that make the move first.
Yeah, and they're the ones who
Again,
also took the mid tower first as well. So they got a lot more space, to be honest, than Beastcoast does.
Stinger's position here. Wait on top of that high ground. Look for smokes. Chris Luck's Death Prophet, though, out in the open. Tries to phase boots away, and it just about gets out of range of that Crystal Nova. Exorcism. DP wants to fight this. Has the backup of her squad arriving. And Chris Luck has the heals just enough with the 1 charges to stay up and running. Spirit siphoning forward. The cooldown lands. Maiden and Rubik, down you go. DP
so
still
confused.
up and running. And that was Latam defenders making the move. And a really... It felt like a slow reaction, but it worked from Beastcoast.
Well, it's awkward because you make a very defensive move again, but Latin defenders, they want to commit to kill the DP, but the Visage just ran away. He didn't even throw out a single soul assumption onto the DP. I think if they got the soul assumption on the DP, killed her off, and then you just traded the 2 supports, that was completely worth it for Latin defenders. Because then they also had the Ursa and the Timbersaw farming the whole time.
In the end, they get nothing, though.
Yeah, I was just a little confused because Na just like kind of ran away instead of trying to do a long range soul assumption with his fully charged up to finish off that DP.
Yeah, he kind of just bailed on them. What's he got? Orb of Corrosion. Drums. Nearly done. What do we expect? Visage to go that Aghanim Scepter build?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's good. I also think Solar Crest is actually really good this game. Playing against Gyrocopter and the Death Prophet. Both of those heroes do not like to play against Solar Crest.
It's a decent steal for the Rubik.
Yeah, I do
Swarm.
like the Ags, like you said. It's good to pick off the supports with.
It's so nice just being able to fly invis everywhere.
Yeah, it's like a vendetta, honestly.
Yeah.
The way that it works.
Out of the shadows comes the Visage. Mirana leaps to low ground. Illusion still keeps tabs on them, so they see up there. Latam defenders bring everybody up to that top part of the map, while, like you say, Ursa farming away. Closing in on Battle Fury, he's just a couple of minutes out from it. And Gyrocopter does already have his Aghanim Scepter, though, so we could see Beastcoast do that mass group up, 5 heroes, and play into these objectives which are still out on the map for them.
Makes them really tanky too, this Gyrocopter Ags.
They're defending top and pushing
really dead
mid.
Rubik.
He is straight up dead. Around the bounty rune spawns as well. It looks like the DP made her escape off to the east. Oh, they're still on this Timbersaw Theban. He doesn't have much mana. Trying to farm a little creep camp. Gets tagged up. That is a full spirit vessel on your Mirana. Ignite chasing him. Tried to get to the low ground with a Whirling Death and another Timber Chain. He does not get out of there. Multicast stun from Stinger. And the gank squad on the other side is looking for the DP. They know that Chris Luck was just here. Familiar scouts out. The Death Prophet.
She's out.
No, can't get close enough for a Grave Chill. The stun. Familiar lands.
She's so fast.
Never mind.
Titan Ogre are smoking up here.
That's
They're going
cool.
across. They want to help the DP.
Wait, DP's just popped Exorcism and run to kill the Maiden. Level 6 Crystal Maiden gets a Frostbite out in a dying breath. Ursa thinks about engaging, but the Visage surrounded by the Tide Ogre smoke you talked about, and a double kill for Chris Luck.
And the Rubik.
Oh dear, in the mid lane, yeah. Rubik sniped out. Maybe
Looks
thinking...
like
I guess Rubik was thinking that everyone went bottom lane, but it wasn't. It wasn't true.
Yeah, they also got some really nice high ground vision on the Beastcoast side, watching this triangle area. So, Latin defenders, especially the Ursa, doesn't even have access to his Ancients anymore. It's gonna fall very far behind in farm. I just want to say, like, the moment the DP popped Exo, whenever you see that happening and you're like a hero next to it, just get out, you know? Nana must have known there's some kind of backup coming the way of this Death Prophet. He just tried to man up on the DP. It was
Timber?
just a huge mistake.
He doesn't have a way to get out of this Spirit Vessel. Now he yules up, and Chris Luck, freezing field, there's a lot of damage through the Chakram and the Fade Bolt, the cooldown landing on the Maiden's head. Visage stuck around, and the Home Missile, he's dead! The Visage gets ravaged up with the Timbersaw behind him, and they catch the Rubik on the right-hand side too. They turn, they try and face off the Ursa. Rubik's
Arrow.
very low. Cuckahook is on the run. The arrow comes, but Rubik and Timbersaw, they're still alive somehow. Surely Beastcoast have got to dive this and finish them off. Moonlight taken out by Schofield at long last. And Timbersaw, he's cut himself an avenue through the trees. Arrow flying.
Schofield actually arrowed the Rubik instead of arrowing the Timber for the kill. He thought that maybe he thought that the Timber was surely just dead, but manages to live. Rubik is the one who's going to take the fall instead. But Beastcoast are doing such a great job of just controlling up this map right now. I know the Ursa is farming though. They haven't been like slowing him down, but they're just getting so many kills on the other heroes of Latam defenders. Doesn't matter if the Ursa gets big or not at this point.
You've got an 11,000 net worth Gyro with Ags, S and Y. K1, 4, 1 and 5 and farming his ass off.
He's so far. I mean, this guy, like if you're a carry player and you want to know farming patterns and how to maximize your farming patterns, this is the player to watch. 100%.
He knows what's up. And there is that single slipper of agility that, or I guess the single pair of slippers of agility that we were talking about the other day, right? No Wraithband completed.
Yeah, not upgrading your small items has been the trend these days. If you're still upgrading your small items, then maybe you're just not on the trend at the moment. Well, some heroes still want to do it, like maybe Storm, you know? You want a couple nulls at least.
Yeah, it feels like TB.
Mid-laners.
Like maybe you argue Ricky, but those have also shifted away from like triple Wraithband builds into single Wraithband builds, right? That's the adaptation we've seen on Ricky's and TB's.
Yeah. You want to get to those big items, hit your timings even faster so you can come online and just fight with your team.
You sure do. Top tier 1 for Latam defenders, and TPing 1 by 1 bottom. Timbersaw silenced up, the DP exorcism not stolen. That's silence for Moonlight as Cuckahook does run forward towards K1. The Timbershane Chakra, call down comes. K1, he's trying to battle here. Whisper, you're right, Node Ravage for 10 more seconds, but the Ursa, the Ghosts, they are destroying him. He doesn't have Enrage anymore, the self-fuel's out on the DP. She's got no one charges, Spirit Siphon's not coming fast enough. They blow through Chris Luck. Stinger's Ogre, he's trying to stand around here, but Cuckahook pops back to life with that reincarnation, and Stinger's Ogre has been left to his own devices as they had no Ravage.
Yeah, they don't have no Ravage. They do take the tier 2 tower, but very nice play from Latam defenders, just utilizing that Aegis, going straight onto a Gyrocopter first, because they know if they leave him alone, he's just going to dish out a bunch of damage in the team fight. So pressuring him, getting him out of that fight at least. They don't get the kill on him, but they'll take the win with the DP dying.
That should help.
It felt kind of awkward with them TPing 1 by 1 like that. I always get this, panic, the fear of what's going to happen if you die 1 by 1 TPing, but it worked out.
I mean, you've seen it so many times, like casting games or even playing in your games. Like someone's like, "Oh, go defend this," and then you just like trickle in 1 by 1 and just feed, just get blown up one after the other. Doesn't happen as much on tier 2 towers though. Mostly that normally happens on like tier 1 towers. Tier 2 tower, you at least have the protection of your glyph that can shoot everybody if they try to dive you.
Oh man, Crystal Maiden, you poor fool.
10 deaths.
That jungle is not yours.
Alright, make the call, Gary.
17.
How many deaths is... Okay, I knew it. 17 deaths. That's
what do you mean
Crystal
you knew
Maiden. I knew you knew what I was talking about. That's what I knew. So, your guess is 17 deaths. That's what Crystal Maiden's gonna end with this game, eh?
Yeah. I think she's... I think Latam defenders have got 7 more in her. Yeah.
Alright, I'll say 14.
Unless you reckon the game ends right here. Because Beastcoast are looking to close out on this lane of barracks. They yules up the timber. Moonlight Shadow to maybe fake a retreat, to hold that information away from the Latam defenders of where these heroes are. They're tied, especially with that Ravage. And they just back up.
Yeah, I mean, they hold them off for now. I think Beastcoast are still waiting for that second Aegis before they actually really commit hard onto objectives. It looks like Latam defenders want to make a smoke, considering Death Prophet's Exo is on cooldown. This would be a good time to fight.
Gyro is about to have BKB though, Theban.
Yeah.
Finishes off the camps in that triangle, but they do get the catch onto Schofield, Mirana, wand, leap, another one ready. The Soul Assumption follows. The big nuke damage. It homes in on the Mirana.
Used all of her leaps too, unfortunately.
And they're also moving towards the Gyro. Chakram thrown in by the Timbersaw. Familiars left here. Beastcoast could try and clear up a couple of Familiars. 200 bonus gold. And do you reckon it is that situation where both teams are trying to find activities to entertain themselves while they're waiting for Roshan?
Yeah, well, Latam defenders had a good reason to go and do something while the DPX was on cooldown. Beastcoast couldn't really do anything other than just farm and wait for some kind of reaction. Like, react to something that Latam defenders are gonna do. So, very normal stuff here, Gary.
Yeah, wait for those BKBs. So Gyro
has a BKB now, right? Yeah, he does. Okay, he still wants that blink dagger so he can get on top of the DP right away instead of having to run into the fight, maybe get silenced or something, and having to preemptively force a BKB or use a BKB.
Yeah, and they're finding good spots to farm. Like Visage stacked his ancient camp for the Ursa, so he's getting his gold influx going, and separating pretty wide. Like Latam defenders, they're not the real tight squad of heroes. They are separated, and that'll mean the Maiden out in the river. Homing missiles, gonna bonk her on the back of the head through the Glimmer Cape. Doesn't last long. A big old line is drawn by Gyro. Go mid. Me farm bottom. I am carry. So they could quite easily claim that to mid lane.
Do you like this hero, Gary? Gyrocopter? You think it's fun to play him?
I think it's kind of fun, yeah. You've got so much magic damage. It feels good just like throw a cooldown into a fight and watch people melt.
Yeah. Man, they nerfed Rocket Barrage so many times though. Like, I like the days when Rocket Barrage was the OP spell, you know, you just run around with phase boost and drums and just barrage people or just run in there. Yeah, I think you used to deal like 33 damage a rocket. Now it's like at 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see how much they've nerfed that spell.
And level 1 Rocket Barrage was ridiculous at like bounty rune battles.
Yeah, just buy a shard, says Belly. Get that extra Rocket Barrage. It's not the same. You know, you gotta wait till 20 minutes for it. Yeah. You want to run at them at like 8 minutes into the game. Level 7 Gyrocopter, right?
Just charge at them.
Those were the days.
But yeah, also the level 15 talent. Who thought 40-second reduction on the cooldown of cooldown was a good idea? Oh, the arrow on Maiden. No. What are we at?
Here's a funny story.
12 deaths now.
Yeah.
5 more.
I said 14, so I assume she's gonna revive. They're gonna get Aegis. She's gonna die. She's gonna buy back, die again, and the game ends.
On the money.
That's what I'm assuming.
Because they're going top tier 3 again, Beastcoast, with the fresh exorcism. And they know that this tide with Medallion, Vlad's Halberd, pretty much untouchable up at the front lines. Gyrocopter even feeling bold enough to run forward. Throw a homing missile towards Timbersaw. Rubik steals out Spirit Siphon, but your Timber, he's forced to Yule's up. Still has Hood Wand, but blown completely off the face of the map. Does have buyback, but you're losing these racks at a drastic rate. Exorcism is about to end, but DP and Gyro, they still have their BKBs. They've still got Cooldown and Ravage. Team fighting into this, not an option that Latam defenders wanted to take.
They do not. They're considering smoking up right now, though, and taking a battle once the Timber's alive, because the DP does have her Exo on cooldown. But I think, what was that? That was an Arcane Rune usage, yes, right? With the Exo, so 40 seconds left. Not going to be a good fight for Latam defenders.
Real great usage of that. Arcane Exo.
Also got to run past the Tidehunter and his Ravage. Visage. Have you ever seen a Visage with a BKB?
No, I was just about to ask you that.
Well, I got you.
Yeah.
Got you first.
I was also wondering, I think this is the first time I've seen this kind of build on Visage. Yeah. Orber Corrosion drums into BKB. Well, he wants to stand... Oh, the arrow. No way. From an absolute million miles away. Catches that Rubik in the mid lane. A gift from the night. Absolutely right, Mirana. That slid straight into the Rubik's DMs, and he wasn't too happy about it. Scouting with the arrow, sees the Timber. Spotted Visage. I think you can see the DP and Gyro, though, just waiting for Roshan. Courier's in the pit. They're in position. They've got another minute and a half to wait, though. Here we go again.
They're not even going for the rush, alright? Let's go.
Forget about it. We've got Exorcism ready again. Tier 3, already down to half HP, and you've got a Scardy Gyro. Oh, goodness. Timbersaw's not happy about that. Losing your barracks quickly. The Silence on the Timber with a cooldown and the Ravage. The Visage BKBs, and so does the Ursa. They are turning the tide a little bit to try and find the title, but Visage is gone. Chris Luck has got an Exorcism and a BKB going, so the freezing field means nothing. And the Latam defenders lose 3 heroes off the bat with an arrow into the Yules. They've got a double kill and a triple on K1 to secure the game. 31 to 8. And Crystal Maiden 2 and 13. We were both wrong, but you were closer to being right.
She didn't buy back. She had it. You just held it. She saved her stat by 1 death. Hey, calculations were on point, but you know.
Yes.
Can't account for the CM not to buy back.